some of our sponsors that make it possible for us to provide Weave programming throughout the year. So want to give a special thank you to all of them. We do have Weave events throughout the year. And as some of you know, in taking courses and participating in programs with Weave, we offer scholarships. So when folks are not able to pay the full tuition to attend any of our programming, the vast majority of participants may take scholarship opportunities with us because we want to make sure that our programs are available to everyone. So good to know that we have those scholarships and that we have the support of our community partners. So I am so super thrilled. Is it weird to see your face on the screen like this, Kim? I'm to introduce our special guest today and have the opportunity for all of you to ask your questions and get information that will help you in your business journey. A little bit about Kim. She is an amazing expert in media with a 35-year career that covers television reporting, radio, newspaper, magazines, multimedia. She's been a news anchor, a writer, a reporter, a producer, a videotape editor for 4 television stations. And familiar to me because she has been a Ventura County Star newspaper reporter for 20 years. So I saw a lot of her coverage, a lot of her articles. And she currently is hosting her own radio show on KVTA on Monday mornings, featuring different guests from Cal State Channel Islands, where she works now. And we're super lucky to have her because she has this keen insight on how to sniff out stories, how to tell stories respectfully, and how to advise others on what is story worthy. And in her role at Cal State University Channel Islands, she let us know that in one academic year, her work generated over 3,800 news clippings that reached 6 billion people. So I don't, if you haven't worked in media, you don't know the reality of how huge that is. But to put it in context, all of that news coverage that she earned is an estimated value of $5.5 million of advertising that her business didn't, or her organization did not have to purchase. It was earned media through her efforts. So really strong, great ratio of pitch to coverage. I don't know if that's a thing, but I'm going to call it a pitch to coverage ratio.
It works. It works.
It's successful, Kim. So I admire you. And I'm really pleased to have you join us and share some of your great insights and help our business community. So without further ado, let me introduce you all to Kim Gregory. Welcome, Kim.
Hi, and thank you. Thank you very much. I actually don't have my own show, but I do have my own little section on the KVTA morning show. And I bring on reluctant faculty members all the time. So I do a lot of talking down off the branch. I was listening to you thinking, wow, no wonder I'm tired. Okay. I love doing this. I love talking to people. You will hear the term, I love people. I really, really do. I'm a student of people. And I think everybody has a story. They do. All you gotta do is talk to them for a little while and you will suss out the story. What I'd like to do at this moment, because I'd love to know just if you guys can give me a brief introduction of who you are and what your business is, that will kind of help me subconsciously to figure out what I'm going to talk about. So maybe I can hit on some of the businesses that you guys own. If you can go around and introduce yourselves, that would be great. Starting to my right, my left, hello.
Well, I think everybody's screen might be different. So maybe I'll call on a few people, and I'm just randomly calling on people. And if I don't call on you, feel free to chime in. So I'll start with you, Kelly Ochoa, if you want to unmute and share what your great company, your great business is. Oh, I don't think we can hear you.
It would help if I turn my microphone on. Hi, everyone. Good morning. I am Kelly Ochoa. I am a pediatric emergency medicine physician, and I opened up an after-hour urgent care that is telemedicine here in Ventura County.
Excellent. Oh, you're already a story. Okay. Yeah, do a couple more of you because there's so many of you, which I'm thrilled to see. Yeah, go ahead. Just randomly call on like
Okay.
5 people, Lisa.
Okay, I'm gonna pick on you, Natalie, because you have a winery and I love wine.
Ooh,
Hi, I'm Natalie. I own Wildflower Winery here in Ventura. I'm hoping to open a tasting room in the next few months, year. But I make low intervention wines, sourced mostly from Santa Barbara County and a little bit from SLO County, so Central Coast.
very cool. Okay, yeah, easy. Okay, I just saw Lee Williams. It says you help women over 50 have the pleasure of getting letters in the mail so they can savor that joy and comfort and sweet nostalgia again. Who is Lee? Hello, Lee.
There you are.
Hello.
That's wonderful.
I'm here.
Hi, Lee.
Apple doesn't like my face, so it never shows up.
Okay.
I've
Well,
had that experience, yes.
that's okay. So let's see. I'm going to pick on somebody else. How about you, Jet Black?
Hi, yeah, I own Femme Santa Barbara, and we're an inclusive sex and body positive pleasure boutique.
Oh, cool. Okay, yours is a trend. Yours is a story. If you haven't been in the media already, I'll be amazed. Okay.
Well,
go ahead.
I'll be opening my doors next June, so
Oh, you
still
no,
ramping up.
You, my dear, are a slam dunk.
Awesome.
And you're hitting on
Okay.
the whole body positivity movement, which I'll talk about, connecting your business to a news angle in just a bit. Okay, just about
Great.
1 or 2 more and I'll get started here.
Okay. I'm not going to pick on anyone. I'll let you pick yourselves if somebody wants to
Yeah.
unmute and share.
Don't be shy.
Hi, I'm Heather Wethington, and I am a structural engineer. I opened my firm a year and a half ago, and I'm located up in Paso Robles. My specialty is residential structural engineering. So I help people help their home fit their life.
Okay. Oh, I like that. I help your home fit your life. Okay.
We need that.
Who's the chocolatier?
Marley Confections.
Yes.
Yum.
Let me see. I've unmuted. Let's see if I can do the video.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, Margaret.
Hi. So I have a confections company. I did a soft launch starting last fall, and I specialize in everything starting with caramel.
And going on to.
They're all caramel confections.
Okay, so they're not chocolate, they're caramel.
They're chocolate covered caramels.
Chocolate covered caramel. Okay.
And different chocolates that have a caramel base inside.
Okay, interesting. Oh, and you guys are all up and down the coast. Okay. I again have been in media for 35 years, and I've been an anchor, been a reporter. I've, stood out in the rain hoping that the lightning didn't hit the live truck while we were out there. I've been up in a balloon and I've been up in a helicopter hovering over the Grand Canyon. And I've been to Paris covering a great race from Beijing. Well, Beijing, God, was it? Yes, Beijing. It used to be something else in China, another capital, to Paris. So it's been, I always tell students who want to go into media, it's a terrible way to make a living. You don't make a ton of money depending on what you do, but it's a great way to make a life. Now, as a rule, when it comes to business, media will not cover a business as it can be seen as free advertising. And despite what you're going to hear about media, there is a firewall between advertising and news. So if advertising says cover something, we don't say, yes, sir. We say, no, tell us why. So it's, there's a firewall. So advertising will not dictate what news covers. So there are ways, though, to get your business publicity through the back door. The golden rule is think in terms of stories you'd like to hear. And okay, I'm going to look at your business again, your name again, the one with the pleasure boutique. Is that what's your name again?
My name's Jet.
Jet. Okay. Jet, that is right there, just the nature of your business. You're a slam dunk. You just have to call Pacific Coast Business Times and they'll just send somebody out. I mean, it's because and this is why. what makes the business quirky? Or on the opposite side of the spectrum, what makes the business relevant in today's world and why do we care? Those would be sort of your golden rules when it comes to figuring out what people want to hear. In your case, Jet, there is a news angle to yours. It's probably more has to do with women, but it has to do with body positivity. It has to do with our being less reluctant to talk about this. And I think that you can hook your business onto that trend or onto that news. It's kind of interesting too, depending on how you look at it, what's happening to women in the United States today. And I think that you can definitely pitch that based on, body positivity, et cetera. I think that that's a new thing. In your case too, I think that the media outlets you would choose might be for skewed younger. I'd have to noodle on that. But yeah, if you were going to contact a public relations company to pitch for you, I think they'd jump on it, the opportunity. Now, nobody wants to read a story about a business that is the best, because let's face it, best is boring. Or if you say, use words that we hear a lot in Silicon Valley, like, I'm a disruptor. What does that mean? And, I have these conversations with the faculty here at Cal State Channel Islands all the time. They say, we're inclusive. Well, what does that mean? Tell me what that means. Break that down. Speak English. If you're inclusive, then we have to be inclusive with our communication too. We have words that in universities we love to use, transformative. What does that mean? Do you have somebody who used to work in the fields who is now going to go to medical school, Northwestern? Show me, don't tell me. If anybody's ever read a dating profile, then you know what I'm talking about. I was unfortunately widowed in 2011. And before I met my fantastic husband, you see a whole lot of, I have a wonderful sense of humor. People tell me I look like I'm 40, even though I'm 59. No, show me your photo. Now my husband said, at the time I was widowed, and I said, I just want to, just put my toe in the water, and I can slay my own dragons, but now and then it would be nice to get someone to slay them for me. And this guy, my husband now, said, I don't know anything about slaying dragons, but if I were running away from a dragon with my butt on fire, I think I'd like to do it for someone like you. Now, this tells me so many things about him. It tells me he's humble. It tells me he's funny. It tells me he's witty. It tells me he's creative. He was all of those things. I only had to date one guy. We got married, 7 years ago. So I got two great guys in a lifetime, much more than my share. My point is, who, if they read a dating profile, if you're in that, if you read one and you go, I like long walks on the beach. My taste in jazz is eclectic. Show me. Show me. So I used to get a whole lot of news releases when I was in the media about, we are the best. We have experiential, transformative, I would stay away from those 30,000-foot words that everybody uses because they don't mean anything, especially to a busy reporter who will just toss it. Tell me specifically. Whenever I look for a story to interest the media in our university, I don't look for the student who graduated at the top of their class, and that I will mention them, of course. You listen, say so-and-so graduated with a 4.12, and certainly I can in a different story, but I look for the student who struggled and overcame obstacles and prevailed. If you pick up a novel, what you're going to look for is a brightest moment, a darkest moment, and that, a struggle, a conflict, and then victory. It's like, I'm going to go with body positivity, for example. I was embarrassed to talk about, sex, and I just always felt like this was wrong, and, this sort of thing, and how they prevailed or how your company helped them. Find me an individual, find me the face of that story. And again, I have, sometimes I struggle with that here. I have, well, for example, they'll say, oh, we are transformative. People who didn't think they had a chance to go to college can do that. Well, show me. So I found a nursing student who was a dreamer, and her parents were deported right after Trump took office, and she was alone. So she tried to stay, she said, I'm going to pay. She was very proud. And she showed us by staying with 3 other people. There were like 4 to a room in our dorm. And she couldn't pay any longer. And they said, you can still stay here. And she said, no, I'll pay. The poor thing was sleeping out in the North Quad so that she could go to college. That's how much she wanted to go. So rather than in a news release, she really, really wanted to go to college. I say she slept in the North Quad until one of our Chicano studies professors, found out about it, and we got her emergency housing and things like this. And you just learned a lot about our university right there. And that is so much more compelling than saying we help dreamers, or going into all this elaborate corporate speak about how we help dreamers. Show me the face of that story. And what I'm going to have you do in the breakout rooms is think about the things in your office, in your company, where you might have the face of something quirky, something that's addressing a problem in business, something that's addressing something about for example, women over 50 who would like to receive letters. That's kind of interesting. I'd want to know more about that. Tell me a little bit more about that. Tell me about that's another quirky business, different business. And I want to know and kind of explore what your angle is, but be thinking about that. Tell me what your angle is. One time I found a student who we were talking about transformative. We want to show how our university is transformative. So I found the face of that story. I talked to someone who wanted to go into forensic anthropology. And I thought, well, that's unusual. Who wants to study dead bodies and so forth? And so I took her aside at an event and I said, tell me about that. Well, she was from El Salvador and she was an all-A student. She said, I want to be a forensic anthropologist because my uncle was shot during the revolution and he's in a mass grave somewhere. And my father has been grieving. I want to find his remains. I want to identify his remains so my father can have peace. That's a story. And we train them in forensic anthropology so they can do just that. So I take this story to one of our administrators who will go unnamed, and he goes, oh, we probably don't want to talk about that. We want to talk about how well they're doing. It's like, no, you need to include that part of the story. You need to include the darkest moment so you can include the brightest moment. You can see that transformation. So it's more than just the Christmas letter. Who's bored by a Christmas letter that says, hi, we did, yeah, right, I know. It's like, everything was fantastic today. Everything was fantastic all year. We went on many vacations. We met celebrities. So-and-so is doing really great. Little Bethany is doing wonderfully in her violin classes. In fact, her teacher said it's like, we read them out loud and laugh. But, on my dating profile, when my friends finally convinced me to go back out there, I said, I'm 57 and I look, well, I was 56 at the time. I'm 56 and I look about 56. I said, and they're all like, I enjoy going to the gym. I said, I hate going to the gym. I go because I have to. And now and then I don't make it, things like that. And I was just genuine. People pick up on BS immediately, especially in video. Don't you always know who done it when you're watching Dateline? It's like, yeah, you did it. You did it. It's funny. Video doesn't lie. Okay.
So question for you from the chat, Kim.
Yes, ma'am.
Question and a good segue. Kelly is asking if we could talk a little bit about how to find the right news outlets, the right media outlets, and initially how to approach them. And I know you and I, in preparation for this, talked a little bit about thinking in terms of audio versus visual, radio versus TV, print, online, and the different media outlets. So to answer Kelly's question, would you talk a little bit about how to find the right news outlet and initially how to approach that right news outlet? Yeah,
I do that every day. Number one, get to know a reporter. Not necessarily the news editor, get to know a reporter. Once a reporter covers anything remotely related to your industry, contact them. I was actually going to get into visuals too. Look for visuals, always visuals. That's the world we live in today. I've got part of the presentation where I was going to talk about that. Okay. For example, I'll have a professor approach me and say, I really want to do something about, this political science class I'm teaching where I'm having so-and-so come in and it's really great. Well, I was able to get KEYT TV out there when we shipped in snow, you know, and had everybody playing in the snow. They want visuals and not just TV. Let me see. We want, with the exception of radio, and that would be Lance Orozco over at KCLU. Look for something. If you don't have something visual, it's going to be really, really tough to get covered, frankly, even with what's the word I'm looking for? Radio. You can, let me see if I can find it. Okay.
And I know you also talked, Kim, about it's okay to shoot your own video as long as you remember to shoot it horizontally. If that's going to be part of your news media pitch, to Kim's point about having visuals for the different media outlets that you are approaching, having visuals, having photos, but even better, having video that's good quality shot horizontally that will work in the news media outlet channels in which you are pitching.
When I say horizontally, I actually had something on KEYT last night, but I couldn't shoot it myself, and I had someone else shoot it, and it was a wide shot, and that's all she did, but that's okay. Hold it steady do not have it be desks. What I had was I had them cover the Great American Shakeout. And and the only reason I was able to get them to cover it at our university is because we've been declared some people are texting me. We've been declared a shelter in case there's a disaster, you know, our A3 parking lot. So that was my news hook. I said, we paired the Great American Shakeout, which everybody's doing, with we have been declared a shelter in case of a disaster in Ventura County. So I said, we paired the two together, and she got video of everybody diving under the desk, but it was a real wide shot. And I would have preferred it if she'd gotten a wide shot for 30 seconds, then go medium shot for 30 seconds, hold your camera horizontally. When you send it in, do not edit it together. Just send them like 5 shots. Don't edit it together. Don't put music under it. Leave the natural sound, or they will reject it. And let them know, hey, are you interested in this? And that's exactly what I did. Contact the assignment editor at, for example, KEYT. Contact them and say, are you interested? We have a trampoline in our office, you know, and I'm addressing the problem of, sorry, people are distracting me. These days, it needs to be quirky or different in an extremely remarkable way for a business to get covered. You know, maybe there's a trampoline in the office, or hula hoops, or yoga. Thursdays, there's free childcare. Any of those things would definitely be visual. And now you can pitch it to TV, and I promise you they will cover employees on a trampoline. I was just thinking about the sex positive business that I know about. I was trying to think how you visualize that. That would be a bit of a challenge. So what you do is you contact Lance Orozco at KCLU radio. They have 100,000 people, 100,000 people coverage. The other thing that I do, KVTA, and you can do too, is I get on there. If you have a larger organization, I get on there every Monday and I talk about something at CSUCI. I have a cybersecurity specialist going on Monday, and I talk about how you can get cybersecurity certification, but I have hooked it up into, this is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Pay attention to those months, Latino Awareness Month. We have a special pipeline where we're making an effort to hire graduates who are people of color or women or something like that.
Okay, so Kim, here's a question in the chat. Thank you. And then we'll do this question from Valerie, and then we're going to go to our breakout rooms. Valerie is asking, she's with Unity Shop, and she's pitched her story, sent in a media release to Newshawk and the Santa Barbara Independent with some photos from last year's event, and needs some advice, suggestions on getting that news release, that coverage to help the Unity Shop with their event.
Well, I'm a photographer, so I'm doing a photography event, and a percentage of my sales I've partnered with Unity Shop is going to Unity Shop.
What is Unity Shop?
It's a local charity, and they create shopping. So people can go in and shop for their children for Christmas or shop for groceries or things like they're going to the regular grocery shop because they're low income. It's all year long, but at Christmas they can do their Christmas shopping there. They're also having a telethon in December to raise money, but local organization here in Santa Barbara. It started years ago.
Okay, yeah, and keep it real specific. November 12th, we're doing an event.
I'm going to be on the beach with Santa and a snow machine. I have
Oh, there you go.
spots
Visual.
with kids, and I did it last year. I had nobody sign up, so I did it. I got models. Fortunately, people bought enough things that I covered my expenses last year. So I'm doing it this year using the pictures from last year. I sent in those pictures as my press release. And so now my expenses are covered if people pay to be there to rent Santa and the city's rental fee, and then percentage of the sales when people buy will go to Unity Shop.
Photos from last year might be a problem. You said you got models? Did I hear that?
I'm a photographer, so everybody signs a release when they come to my sessions saying I can use the pictures.
Okay. Are they actual people shopping?
No, they're sitting on Santa's lap. They're playing in the snow with Santa. I'm a photographer, so these are the sessions.
Okay, so these were people. So your business is photography.
I'm a photographer.
Okay, gotcha. And so the event that you held, because what I'm doing is if I'm having trouble understanding what the event is, so are they. So what is the event exactly? What will people come in the event and do?
And they're coming to see Santa on the beach with snow. I have a snow machine going.
Okay. Yeah,
so it's a normal Santa experience. So kids that are screaming are not screaming as much because they can play in the sand. They're a little distracted, or the snow.
Yeah, honestly, that might be more of a that's more of a calendar event. One of those things, because the video is, or the photos are from last year, is going to be a problem. They really like fresh stuff. They really don't use older stuff. They don't use stuff that's a year old. That may be why it's not in there. What that is a calendar event. And what you do is you say, hey, can I get this in your calendar? And then, and do that with the Ventura County Star too. Is it in Santa Barbara County?
It's, yeah, on Santa Barbara.
Okay, if it's on the beach, people will drive a long way to keep their children from screaming. So I would say it's going to be here. This is what we're going to have. And don't say fun. Explain specifically what you're going to have. And you did. We're going to have a snow machine, big draw right there. You want to see snow? Or something like that. I can really grab if you do the 12th annual, they'll gloss right over it. Just say, would you like to see snow or something like that? Really important you get good writing. It's really important that you get good writing when you send out your news release. I had a professor who had been down to the Amazon, which was fascinating. And he was telling me all about reptiles and blah, 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 blah. And I started his story with armed with a snake hook, so Dr. So-and-so creeps through the Amazon jungle at night looking for shiny eyes. That got covered because, you got to get something to grab them in that first sentence. It's so-and-so presents the 12th annual blah, 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 and don't bury it. Really important to get some good writing. And
Great.
It's hiring a public relations company to do that writing.
That's a good point, Kim. Thank you. The good writing for the media release and getting the hook in there.
Yep.
So let's use this opportunity now. Berenice is going to put us into breakout rooms. She'll have a chance to bounce some ideas off of the other people in your breakout room. So be prepared with your story, your potential story idea, and bounce the ideas off of the others. And then we'll come back after about 8 or 9 minutes in the breakout room or so, something around there. We'll come back and share and do some more brainstorming and tap into Kim's expertise in finding the best possible way to pitch your story. So,
and by the way, the best possible way to do not call the person, email whoever it is, email Lance or Roscoe, email, because reporter, and when you get to know that reporter, if that's what they generally cover, look at the paper, look at, or the media, multimedia outlet, see who generally covers your field, get to know that reporter. And, I can't tell you how many times I've said, hey, Tracy Lair. Hey, do you need a kicker on Saturday night? Yes, I do. Okay, I'm going to send you our business, blah, 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 blah. And it's got some great video on it. But yeah, think visual all the time, visual. Okay, and as far as if you don't have any visuals, then pitch to the radios, and I'll tell you more about KVTA. They're always looking for content. That's how I got on. So I'll tell you more about that in a minute. And the woman who started, the doctor who started her after hours clinic, you've got something just with your after hours clinic. So yeah, I'd love to talk to you about a story idea. So go for it. Yeah, John Parliamentary will cover literally anything, but he doesn't decide his own stories, and he's very difficult to get a hold of, and he's also very, very busy. I would suggest getting one of the newer reporters because they all kind of band together. And they all kind of, if they don't have a chance to do it, don't get somebody as well known as John Parliamentary. He's just too dang busy. Okay, go for it.
Okay, here we go into the breakout rooms. We'll see you all back here.
Okay. Hello.
Hi, welcome back, everyone. I know that time flies by quickly. I hope everyone in their groups I know it's fast. I hope everyone had a chance to chat, share their story, listen to others, bounce ideas, brainstorm. There's so much good information to share, and that's a really fast amount of time to do it. But let's go ahead, and if anybody would like to either volunteer and unmute and share something that came out of your group, or feel free to put it in the chat, either way, so we can have Kim weigh in on some ideas or help finish the brainstorming process with you.
I wanted to, I was talking with Megan, who works at the Camarillo Library, and she has some wonderful resources there. One of them is helping people find extra employment during the holiday season. It's timely. Use those holiday seasons, find your gratitude stories. And also what I suggested to her, she had about 9 stories once we talked. It was great. And I am suggesting, and I gave her an email to Tom Spencer, who has the morning show, KVTA, which I go on. I called him and I said, hey, how would you like me to come on Monday mornings for 10 minutes, and I'll bring on a different faculty member student. We'll talk about a different aspect of CSUCI. I've been doing that for 5 years now, and it was so popular that they started doing it every week rather than every other week. So I have advised Megan to contact him and say, hey, how about right before the holiday season, if I come on for a 10-minute segment and talk about a program that the Camarillo Library has to help you get a job. We'll talk about what that McDonald's manager is looking for. I think he'll bite. I really do. So anyway, that's an example of what we came up with. She doesn't necessarily have something visual, so I advised radio. Anyway, so go for it.
That's a great example. Lucky Megan too.
Oh, and also the doctor the physician opening an after hours clinic. Telemedicine is huge. I advised her to look at some statistics. First of all, get the face of her story. Hey, I woke up at 3 a.m. and my child had 103-degree fever. I was really terrified. And I didn't want to go sit in line at the emergency room. So I contacted, this clinic, and she helped me. And anyway, and then go into a statistic, which will always add a level of sophistication to your story. And it will attach you to a news event and say, the telemedicine has seen a 700% increase over the past 2 years, especially since the pandemic. Here in Santa Barbara, we have blankety, blankety, blank, and she can, talk to anybody in all of California because she does telemedicine and we're available for you, blah, 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 blah. So that's hers. And also she could do television if you got Tracy Lair or somebody like that to go and interview the mom and talk about how terrifying it was. If you get an emotion going, somebody goes, oh my God, my child at 3 a.m., I can't even imagine. Then you're going to get people's interest. Okay, so those are a couple of things that we talked about. Okay, go ahead.
And I'm seeing some questions and helpful answers in the chat.
Okay.
People are wanting to know like who some of those media contacts are. So like Tom Spence at KVTA, who goes by the radio handle as Spence.
Spence,
KVTA,
yeah.
he goes by Spence. Yeah, I've worked with him for many years. So he's known as Spence. Okay. Yeah, Spence at KVTA, Tracy Lair, L-E-H-R, at KEYT TV. I think what we might be able to do is put some of this information together, some of those contact names, put those together. And for everybody who opts in to share their information and contact information, when we send out the group list of contacts, we can also include some of those contact names of media persons that Kim is mentioning, like Tom Spence, like Tracy Lair, etc. Yeah, contact list would be super helpful. So we'll put something quick, down and dirty, quick together for you. Not super comprehensive.
Yeah, and let me, I have to run a cautionary tale here. I can't really share my media list because it's sort of the property of the university, but what I can tell you is whatever site you would like to be on, and if you got a visual story or you've got, you know, a story that has a news angle, just find that website and it'll say for news pitches, contact. And if something takes, then you got your reporter. So you're gonna have to wait for something to take. Now, if it's just not catching fire, hire an individual, an inexpensive but good publicity person to just write it for you, because you're going to get a whole lot of traction just with the general news release. Also have a social media presence that always helps. Okay, go ahead. Oh yeah, but contact KVTA because he's always looking for local content, and he'll get on and talk about everything from, hey, we're sponsoring a 5K and the proceeds, like the Unity Shop. You know, we are sponsoring a blankety blank, you know, it brings, in fact, that's perfect for KVTA. Do you want to see some snow? Yeah, come out to the beach and, you know, tell us about that. But tell him that you have a segment that you'd like to do, and he will come on and interview you and you tell us about your event. I can't tell you, and Lisa can confirm here, I can't tell you how many times he goes, okay, tell me about your event. Yeah. We're doing a breast cancer run, something like that. So that's a really good avenue for that. Okay, anybody else have a story they want to talk about? Oh yeah, I can tell you what they are right now. A list of, okay, I would actually hire a professional, because anybody, like I've tried to, it's hard to teach how to write a good news release. So I would look at examples of news releases that get your attention. But yeah, I mean, I can probably find you some websites on how to write a good news release, but I'd say, you know, start with something interesting. These days too, and this is what I do with my university, I write my news releases as if they are news stories. The Santa Paula Times, if you open it up today, you will see my story that I wrote on the second page, because I write it like a news story. I go who, what, where, when, why, and I do it from an unbiased standpoint. I would say, hey, Cal State Channel Island's awesome because, you know, I can't, the story I had in there was an exhibit about the 20-year anniversary in our library. And she ran everything I wrote. So I'd say get somebody who knows what they're doing, get somebody who's been in the media if you can. Because people who've just come up from marketing generally, honestly, they haven't sat in a news meeting and had to come up with a story for that day. And people who have been in the media are going to know how to do that. And they're going to know how to write a story. So I would advise all of you to write a news release because that will get across the reporter's desk. And I can send you media outlets. They're KVTA, KCLU, screen sharing. Yeah, KVTA, KCLU, KEYT, Ventura County Star. The Acorn is excellent. And Rebecca Whitnall is their new editor. She's a really good friend of mine. Santa Paula Times, Marianne Ratcliffe, the editor there, another good friend of mine. Who am I missing, Lisa? Oh, any Spanish language stuff, Telemundo, or you've got, is it Vida? It's another place to pitch it. Yeah,
Vida is Manuel Munoz. 805 Amigos 805. 805
oh yeah,
Amigos
always.
is Frank Moraga.
Oh, he's a really good friend. We used to go over to Halloween at his house. Oh, also with Newshawk. Newshawk's actually really good about putting stuff up. If you're not getting stuff in Newshawk, then something can probably be fixed. Santa Barbara Independent, that is a tougher one. In that case, I would say get a reporter that you know and pitch to them individually. That's what I would do for them.
Okay, good.
It's hard. I've got like 4 hours worth of material. But
I think this is more like a 4-week session. So
we're
cramming
really,
a lot of information.
I've done those. Yeah, exactly.
A quick amount of time. So I'm going to pause here so that Berenice can launch the poll. This is where you can select to opt in to have your information shared with others. It's a simple yes, no. So go ahead and click yes, no. And if you do want your information shared, it will be shared with everybody in the group who has agreed to opt in. And we'll also include any of the other good tidbits and advice and tips from Kim, as well as any contact information that is publicly shareable, and who some of your other participants. Oh, we have 100% participation. That's
You guys,
fantastic.
and this is just to you guys who attended today. You may contact me, please do, if you have a specific question about your business, and I will give you some free advice anyway. And you didn't hear that here, but I really do love doing this. Brainstorming is my absolute favorite thing to do. I love seeing good businesses, especially women-owned, getting out there. So yes, happy to help you guys.
That's fantastic. We are super lucky and very grateful to have your expertise, even if it's on a speed dating version of this. That was a really quick, good download. But like I said, if you have more questions that didn't get answered, go ahead and put those in the chat right now. And then also just wanted to do our Weave PSA to share some ideas on how you could stay connected with Weave. Many of you already are. But if you want to share your business story, we include those on our new website, whether you are a Weave client or not. If you are a friend of Weave, you can share your story. So all of you are our friends. You can share your story with us on our Weave website. We have a business directory that we now have on our brand new website that was launched last month. And of course, as Kim mentioned, it's always good to have a social media presence. So we do. We have both our English and Spanish social media presence, Facebook, Instagram, and then of course, LinkedIn. And if you want to stay connected, you can sign up for our newsletter so you get to be the first people who know about what's happening in the world of Weave, which is a lot actually. Lots of newsworthy, share-worthy stories. And lastly, I would like to just thank everybody for carving out an hour of your very precious time to spend with us today. This is the Weave team saying thank you to you. And if you want to keep up with what's coming up next at Weave, we have next month Strong Women, Strong Coffee on the 18th. And if you are looking for funding resources, we have something new at Weave called our office hours. You get to make an appointment with our funding officer, Marta Quintero, and have your questions answered, free chat with her, and have one-on-one meetings just to ask questions about Weave's loan funding and our loan funding program.
That's a story.
Yeah. Excellent. I just got some free advice. Yay.
That's a story.
You know, that it's really important. And that can be done in English or Spanish. Thankfully, Marta is bilingual and helps all of our community members. So
excellent.
Connect with us, stay in touch with us. We are super grateful that we had this time with you. You know, if we have to talk about a positive that came out of the pandemic, that is the fact that we've created these online meetups. We may not have done that if it hadn't been for the pandemic. So we created these monthly online meetups that have been really beneficial, really fun, and a really great way to stay connected with people all over. I think we have people from LA County, Ventura County, Santa Barbara County, San Luis Obispo County on this particular call today. So thank you to every single one of you for being with us, and stay connected. You can always reach out to me. Sounds like Kim is sharing her contact information too. And I love that our Strong Women, Strong Coffee is not only women today. So thank you to some other people who showed up as well. People who are brave enough to join our Strong Women, Strong Coffee. So appreciate that. Everyone, have a wonderful weekend. Thank you.
Thank you all.